G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Uneducated Entrepreneurs. My name's Dan. Normally we would have Pete with us, but unfortunately he's been quite sick and has also been to the dentist this week, so he is out of action. So you're back with me for our third episode of building your online website. So now today we will be looking at the plugins on WordPress that I use personally, how I set up my WordPress and go about starting to create content for websites. I also will be talking about how you can get the S for HTTPS so that you're not getting kicked back, like warning screens popping up when people are trying to load onto your website. So if you haven't watched the first two episodes where we talked about how to secure your domain and setting up WordPress and hosting, they will be linked either side of me. You'll see thumbnails for them. So you check those out either before or after this. But getting straight into it, actually before we get into it, we did say that this week we would be talking about what the new Labor government has in store for small businesses and medium businesses. I will save that for Pete to get his perspective on, I guess, from his perspective. We'll save that for either next week or the week after. And because we've also got an interview coming up with Caitlin from Rebel Fashion, which we're actually pretty excited about. A bit different, a bit left field from what we've had on the podcast before, but stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about all things with her. She's actually recently just changed over to an agency, so that's exciting, and we will let you know whether that's next week or the week after. But getting into it, we will start by looking at the plugins that I use for all of my websites. It will be slightly different depending on what your business is. So if you've got an e-commerce site, you're going to be more heavily based around e-commerce. But because I do podcasting and also blogging on both of my other websites at the moment, these are the plugins that I generally go to. So as you will be able to see on your screen momentarily, we haven't actually touched our latest website, the Coffee Surf Queensland business. We haven't touched that since our last episode, so we are coming straight in to where we left off, basically. So when it comes up, so a minor technical issue. Turns out my screen was not recording. So what's happened is we've gone through, logged into the back end of Coffee Surf Queensland, which is the website that we started in the last two episodes, series, podcasts, where we talked about online, which will be linked back where I told you they will be linked. So we're in WordPress. I haven't touched it since we were in here last. I said I just went through, we're now in plugins, and so we've gone, and as you can now see this, deleted all of these different plugins and have kept HostGator. We will probably delete that eventually because it's just not needed. Jetpack and Akismet. This is still trying to delete. We'll just do a quick refresh, see if it's decided to work for us. Yep, there we go. She's all good. So once you've deleted everything, you can then go through and install all the rest of your plugins. So to install them, it's very into that. If you come over to the left, it says add new. Click on that. Blog to Social is what we will be installing first. Alright, so up the top here, it was a similar area. We have going to search for Blog to Social. So just search it, and the one that we will be using is the first one up here. Maybe 2 or 3 down, but this is the one we'll be using. Simple as install now, and that'll install all the backgrounds. Also do that, it's very quick, and then you can activate it. Generally, when you activate a new plugin, it will go through like a setup step-through guide, where you're just setting up all your details, getting all your settings right, making sure it's doing the right thing. You link all your socials, do all that fun stuff. So we install Blog to Social. We then go with Imagify. Now, when it comes to the themes, I do have Thrive themes. I'm in the wrong spot. We need to go back to add new. I do use Thrive themes on all my websites, which I will be using on this website as well. So back over to here. Blog Imagify is the next plugin that we use. Imagify essentially, anytime, so if you're doing this at the start of your website and you haven't put any videos or pictures or anything in there, it's really good to download because this will optimize your picture, so it'll decrease the size of all of your files that you put through, which means you have a faster browser, which means people are less likely to click off if they click on and it takes forever to load. So yeah, just download Imagify, it's free. The free one is limited to how many megabytes. Unless you're uploading like massive files, like over 100, 200 megs, which you shouldn't be, it will chew through that very quickly, but it resets each month, I believe. Download and activate. We're just going to stay here, go through that. The next one that we will be installing is insert headers and footers. So now this plugin is used for putting in all of your Google Pixels, your analytics. Like anytime you're trying to link something for like analytics, but it's particularly analytics, and it says put it in body paragraph, this is how you're going to be able to do that without getting too technical, because you'll just be able to add it straight into there. Once again, install and activate, go to add new. And the next one we'll be looking into is rank math, as I briefly touched on. This essentially sorts out all of your SEO, so your Google SEO and your Google rank. So that's where that's all incorporated. It is very handy. There are all like premium bundles for this, which can offer different upgrades. So like I think rank math, it will allow you to, I guess, target more keywords in a particular area. But if there's free websites out there that you can do it, like Ahrefs, Ahrefs. They have a good free tool at the moment where you can get like 5 or 6 different keywords where you can search in a particular keyword that you're looking for and see how much competition you have, whether it's high, low, or medium, and then how much it's roughly costing if you are going down the paid ads route. We can touch on that at a different day, but today we're just doing plugins. So this one here is the one we'll be downloading. Oh, I don't need to click on that. We messed up. Whoops. So just click install now. So all of these plugins, they've all got great resources in their respective plugins, just supplied by the businesses that the programs are from, and also YouTube and Google if you're stuck. I will not do it justice 100%. I'm just giving you a brief outline as to what they do and why I install them. Next one we do is really simple SSL. So SSL is basically the security of your site. It's similar to spam. It works in partnership with Akismet. It basically just stops any nasty things going on that you don't want happening. It also has something to do with your HTTPS. It allows that to be a thing. Really simple SSL. It's this one with the padlock. Yeah, it's just a certificate basically saying that this site is secure. So if you're dealing with like online payments, that's what it is, sorry. If you're dealing with online payments, it will basically, it's a secure pathway for people to transact with your website, which you want if you want to be making money and you're selling things, especially like in an e-commerce site. I do believe if you have like Shopify or like Etsy or like an e-commerce site, they have integrated SSLs, but this is the one we use for our website. All right, So next, I would generally, I don't need to do that, we're in the wrong one. Back to plugins, add new. So generally I would now do Thrive themes. So I will quickly jump into Thrive themes. I'll just make sure it's going to be sharing. Yeah, sweet it is. So Thrive themes is basically just a premium experience for themes. So I will log in because I have a feeling I will need to download the plugin again. So this one you will require, if you do decide to go with Thrive themes, to get the plugin onto WordPress, you have to go onto the website, purchase the plan that you want to go with. I'm on the quarterly, I think I mentioned last time. And then once you've purchased that, download the zip file and then upload that zip file into your web. So if you've got third-party plugins that can be integrated with WordPress whilst Thrive is sorting itself out, when you click on Upload Plugin, so add new plugin and then Upload Plugin, this is where you would upload a zip file that you've previously downloaded. So I believe like WP113, which is one of the other plugins that we download, they do have you go onto their website and you download it through there. I have a feeling that does cost some money. Couldn't tell you exactly how much. But yeah, that essentially is just, so WP113 is a partner per se. Basically, it complements Jetpack so that your website is faster and doesn't have laggy upload times. Okay, so the next one that we will be downloading is Updraft. So Updraft is essentially just a cloud backup for your entire website. So just in case something goes wrong, you accidentally delete something you weren't meant to, or you get hacked for some reason, not enough security, Updraft is what you can set it to backup however often or not as often as you'd like. I think I've got mine set up to backup once a day, once a day every week. So activate that and install. And the last one we will be activating is WP113. So yes, I do believe you do need to buy it. I think let's have a look at prices. Yeah, so it starts at $49 a year for one website and then $99 for 3 websites. It's not necessary, but yes, as you can see on the screen here, it can make your lazy load, which basically, so it incorporates lazy load, which essentially, if you've got videos, photos, basically images or like any media that's quite big, it will load almost like a snapshot of that picture. And then if your viewer or whoever's clicked on, audience has clicked onto your website, if they stay on that page, it will then fully load. But if they're just browsing through the website, it won't fully load that page and all of the media, making it a lot quicker and speedier for all of the different parties looking at your website. But that is all of the different plugins that I use on my WordPress. You will need to go through and set them all up individually. I won't do that on camera because that will bore you out like no tomorrow. If you do have any specific questions about the way to install any of these plugins, just leave a comment down below or contact us through our website and I'll be able to help there. But that is essentially all we need to do for our themes. But yeah, go through, click through, just go settings and make sure everything's all lined up and working for you. And then, as I said at the start, we will be looking at how you get that little S at the start of your website. Now, it is very easy. For this, you'll need to open Cloudflare. I use Cloudflare. It actually does this as a free service, which is great because HostGator, you can get it, but it costs extra. Whereas Cloudflare, you do it for free. So I would recommend doing that. So you need Cloudflare, and you will also need to jump onto Namecheap or your domain provider so that you can change your name servers, which is what I mentioned probably in our second episode mini-series about the website and building an online business. So to go to Cloudflare, sign up. It's free to sign up. I'm just going to sign up with the new Gmail. As I said, I like to put everything on the one email so that everything for that particular business, because generally speaking, most business owners will have multiple, well, at least online ones, will have multiple businesses and they don't want to get things confused. So you can just create an account. So I will go ahead and do that. Okay, so once you've found your account, you'll then go over to we'll go over to domains. Actually, we'll add a site. Because this is a new one, I'm just like, oh, where was my domain section? So if you have multiple, you can have this one Cloudflare account for all. But if you have multiple, there'll be a domains button. But if not, you will then just put your new website in. You can add site. So obviously go with the free one. All we need Cloudflare for is essentially the HTTPS, so the S part of the domain. So it'll do that. It'll come up with all those things. So you'll need to change your name servers, which is why you need to go to your domain provider, which is Namecheap, if you use those ones. So if you scroll down, so this is all of your just traffic essentially. How your traffic goes from wherever it comes from to your actual website. So what you want to do, continue to do that. It'll do its thing. So proxied is good. Okay, so currently, yes, it tells you the directions. As you can see on my screen, it says login to Namecheap. This is where we bought the domain. So yes, it says login to that. Remove our HostGator tags. You can't skip the adding the name servers of HostGator to Namecheap because it won't work. All the websites I've done, it hasn't worked. So you'll need to first, as I said in the second video, you will need to change your name servers to HostGator and then later to Cloudflare. So these ones are the ones you're going to be changing. So you just click the copy. It's very easy. Go to your domain. Let me just sign in. Okay. So you go over to your domain, enter your one-time code if you've got that set up. Okay, so once you're into Namecheap, you click on your domain, so you go manage. Similar to how we changed our name servers last time. It may take the same amount of time, which is why we were just going to do those today, but we can change the we can change the HTTPS. So simply just go through and add in these domain names are always all different. So, I mean, you can use mine, but it's not going to work for your website, unfortunately. They change regularly. So that's ordered, so that's done, that's sorted. It can take up to 48 hours. Because nothing's on there, it might be a little bit quicker. All right, so now that we have changed the name servers, you want to head to SSL. So at the moment, we do have full encryption with Cloudflare. You want to make sure that this is 100% full. Like sometimes it will be off, it'll be flexible, but you want it to be on full because that means it will be secured and your site is less likely to bounce. So that's all done. That's as simple as it is. Just go to SSL, make sure it's on full, and then you just wait, and then you do happy editing. Then you can go through, put in your images, put in your logos, put in your content, and start making money. So, with that all said, guys, that is a very quick rundown of the plugins that I use for my business websites, as well as how to get the HTTPS for your website. But yes, so that is everything for this week's episode. Next week, Pete will be back on. In the next week or two, we will have Caitlin on, and we'll be talking about the effects of the new government in Australia on the various businesses, how that's going to affect us. Hope you enjoyed. If you missed last week, that will be linked right above me because I'm the only one here. So until next week, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you next week.